Hi folks, Heath here, write-in candidate for Kansas Governor 2010. We'll see about 14. We got 2 years to go. However, just wanted to talk a few quick minutes about the shootings last week in Connecticut. It's hard to talk about one thing without talking about another thing, but I need y'all to understand that this kind of baloney is going to continue to happen. I just was watching a little Dr. Phil here this morning, and he's talking to apparently the dad that raised the kid that did the shooting, and now Dr. Phil's looks like he's going back through some of the previous shooters. There's been some other incidents the last few years, the mall, the movies, and the senator out of Arizona. But I seen yesterday somebody showed the 4 mugshots of those kids, and when they were in jail, they just had this glaze, I don't even know who I am anymore kind of thing. And that's a true statement. They probably don't. But what I want you folks to try to start to see is, what's troubling to me is, they wasn't 5 minutes after this shooting, they're talking about more gun control. Who's this they? The people that want to rule you. Whoa, we need more. We need to get the hands off the streets. And I was a newscast yesterday. I don't know where it was. I'm pretty sure it was back east, or it could have been LA or something. I don't know where it was. But they were having a turn-in gun program. And people just willingly gave up their firearms. What, are you fucking nuts? And the cops, the news guy doing the report, or the cops, and they were glad to receive the guns. Sure they were, because they're a bunch of communist confiscators. Don't you see that? They work for the communist government known as the United States. What? Yeah. They're nothing but a thug arm of the de facto government that is not your government, friend. And if you think it is, then you've been sorely misled. Now, how to get to that conclusion? If you haven't gotten there yet, I guess you don't have eyes to see and ears to hear. I don't want to get into it all right now, because I just wanted this to be a quick, can you see the possibilities? Can you see the possibilities of somebody setting up that kid? And now I watched Dr. Phil, and his dad said he might have been molested the day before. And one of their teases is, somebody else thinks their son could be a murderer. Well, no kidding. We all could be murderers. We can all be driven to it, and we can all be wrongly motivated to do it. And if you haven't seen The Manchurian Candidate, you better watch it to get a clue on what's going on out there, because there's people that want to rule you, and they want to keep you scared, and the more scared and the more disharmony that is in the world, the more stuff like this is going to happen. And the more stuff like this has got to happen, so the more of you can wake up and realize what's really going on. And it's sad. It's around Christmas, but Christmas isn't what you think it is either. You're all just skipping down the primrose path. La 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 la. Everything's peaches and cream. Oh, somebody got shot. That's too bad. Look how much I care. Look how much we care. We're so sad for the families. Yeah, it is awful. It's horrible. But that's the trouble with the world. You don't give a rat's ass, but oh, then suddenly something happens, and oh, I got to jump in and show you how much I care. Look how much I care, little Johnny. Everything is related. Everything comes from one thing. And all this crazy comes from one thing. I ain't going to get into it now. But I want you to see the possibilities, folks. How somebody hypnotized that boy. Life hypnotized that boy. Voices in his head hypnotize that boy, and he thinks he's got no other option but to go kill people. Because that's what wickedness does. It takes the lives of the innocent. It takes something good and pure and I don't even have another word for it right now, but it seeks to break it down. That's what wickedness does. Life is hypnotic, and it puts you in this deep trance, and the more you hate, the more you resent, the angrier you become, the more hypnotically, not desperate, but deep into it you get, and you hear these voices in your head, and suddenly, oh, and you can't just kill yourself. You got to kill somebody else and take them with you. And then then the people that set this kid up, oh, kill yourself afterwards. Well, that's really, because then it's frustrating. You don't ever even get to know why he did it. And the judicial system doesn't get to put him in jail and make money off of him. Sorry, fuckers. Yeah, I said it. I don't care if it's a county jail. I don't care if it's El Dorado. I don't care if it's a state pen somewhere else. They make money off the prisoners. You need to check it out. And the more of us they can make criminals, and the more of us they put in the warehouses, the light. I'm getting off of what I wanted you to see. What I want you to see is the possibility that somebody set this up and they set the kid in just to start talking about gun control. They create a problem, just like in your home. Your old lady, your kids create a problem so they can come fix it and show you how smart they are and then make money off of you. That mall shooting the other day, I didn't hear it a lot, but I did hear, we just had a practice drill for this the day before. Really? Do you think that was a coincidence? Because somebody knew it was going to happen. And it's going to happen more and more across the country because the people that want to rule us want to keep us in fear and confusion. Because when you're scared and confused, you can't make a right decision. You can't make a rational decision. You can't make a correct decision. They're hard enough to make when you're sitting still, which is what you should be, thinking them over. So you got to keep your head, folks, and that's not easy here lately, because most of you don't have the patience for it. You can't even have a bad hair day. Yeah, it's funny. It ought to be funny. It ought to be so sad it either makes your stomach hurt or you got to laugh about it, because that's really all you got. So anyway, can you see the possibilities? Somebody set this up just to start talking about gun control because it wasn't 5 minutes after it happened. Then you got these preachers and teachers and these newscasters. It's a mental health issue. Yes, it is. The whole country's got mental health issues. Because life is hypnotic. And it hypnotizes you. And the stress. And if you don't deal with it right, pretty soon you got kids walking into school shooting people. Now, between 0 and walking into schools shooting people, you got people cutting you off and people sitting at the traffic light shaking their fist at you. I've done it. I've lost my cool. But on on the flip side, when I've got my cool and somebody cuts me off and they're acting stupid, they don't get the fists and the shouts. They have. Not as much anymore, but actually here lately, there's a lot more craziness going on out there. A lot more people trying to take advantage of you, take your money, stick it to you, lie about you, all of that. And there's a lot more domestic issues. Men can't deal with women properly, and it's tough because women will drive you crazy if you let them. That's the key. You can't let them. And then you got to help them to see they're crazy. Most of you can't. How am I going to tell my wife she's crazy? Well, carefully, lovingly, with patience. Didn't say it was easy. But I know most of you know somewhere a woman, ain't nobody ever told her no. So she's out there running loose thinking everything she does got to happen. No. Yeah, surprise, surprise in this world, everything you want don't happen. Yeah, I found that out. But anyway, can you see the possibilities of a setup to try to take your rights away, your freedoms away, which already been done. If you start digging the way I have the last 3 or 4 years, you would be astonished. And some of you can't believe it because you don't want to believe it, because you're happy in your little world, and if my little world's perfect, then the world must be perfect. Well, ignorance is bliss, right? Yeah. Happy New Year. Yay. Do I look blissful to you right now? No, but I'm telling you like it is. And the reason I'm telling you like it is because the more people see the connection, the less it can have an effect on you. But if you don't want to see it, you're just going to be emotional and strung out and stressed out, which is what they want, because the more of you that are stressed out, the more of this kind of stuff's going to happen. Florida, somebody's taking drugs and they gnarled the face off of a guy. How does that even... Most of you, how does that happen? Well, I'd have to talk to you for an hour and a half to get you to understand how that happened, and you probably still wouldn't understand it. It has to do with stress and the improper dealing of it. It has to do with anger, resentment, guilt. And you have all that, and you know that, but you go to work and you do the right thing, so you think, to work out your guilt and frustration and anger and resentment. But if you don't deal with it right, ultimately you get this kind of stuff. So, if you've listened this far, thanks for listening. I'm Heath Norris, writing candidate for Kansas Governor 2010. We'll see about 2014. I may run for both governors. What do you mean by that? Well, go to my webpage. Email me. I'll tell you about it. And until then, God bless the United States of America.